Dr. Beans. This is Joe Figone, and this is my presentation on materials. So NASA approached me and my partner Jacob Montezir, and they asked us to come up with a material that would work well on the space shuttle. This material would have to survive impacts with space debris and would also have to be able to survive re-entry into the atmosphere. And there are three important qualities here. There is hardness, which is basically how easy it is to dent something. The shuttle will need a high hardness rating. There's also melting point. The melting point needs to be above 1650 degrees Celsius. And other than that, it doesn't really matter. It just needs to be able to not melt in the atmosphere. And then tensile strength. The shuttle will also need high tensile strength. And that's because tensile strength is how easy it is to just simply break something. And if it's not at all easy, then it will be able to survive it. So there are four material types to consider when thinking about what to put on the space shuttle. There are ceramics, which have high hardness, high melting points, and high tensile strength, and metals with also high hardness, high melting points, and high tensile strength. And there are woods and fibers and polymers. These are not as good for our reasons because they all have either low or none of the qualities we require. So I came up with three top materials. There was quartz, and here's a quartz crystal. There was silicon carbide, here's silicon carbide in a powder form. And there was alumina, which is aluminum oxide. And the thing that these all have in common is their structure. They all have network covalent bonds. And these white circles are the atoms, and the ovals connecting them are the bonds. And this model makes it so that it's harder to break apart, it's harder to melt, everything is tougher and stronger. And so here's just a graph of all the different qualities between these items. So silicon carbide has an insanely high hardness, quartz has a very high hardness, and alumina all have great hardnesses. But the tensile strength, alumina clearly has the highest hardness, or tensile strength, and silicon carbide and quartz are lagging behind a little bit. All three are above the melting point of the atmosphere. But because these two don't have as great of tensile strength, I decided that alumina would be the best material for NASA's purposes. Thank you.